This is predicting presidential elections. Correlates of presidential election results. The most important factor that predicts election results is the state of the economy. The better the economy, the more likely the party that controls the White House will continue to control it by winning the next presidential election. The second important factor is the incumbent approval rating, and this is true even if the incumbent is not running for re-election, as was the case in 2024 when Joe Biden finally decided not to run or was pushed out of the presidential race due to poor health. So, even though incumbent may not be running, his or her, eventually her, but so far we only had men presidents, his approval rating is going to transfer to a significant extent to the torchbearer of the party. So in the 2024 election, Joe Biden approval's rating heading into the election day was 41% in the Real Clear Politics average of polls. And so Kamala Harris was also not very popular because she was connected to this administration. And obviously the state of the economy and the incumbent's approval rating are two important factors in their own right, but they are connected in that the state of the economy very heavily influences the incumbent's approval rating. And the third most important factor is partisan composition of the electorate. As an example, in the 4 years between elections of 2020 and 2024, electorate has heavily shifted from Democrats to Republicans. We saw that shift in 30 out of 31 states that keep voter registration records by party. So in virtually every state, the balance of Republicans and Democrats has moved in favor of Republicans. That doesn't mean that Democrats have lost voters. In fact, on total, they gained voters in most states. The problem has been that Republicans have been gaining voters at an even faster rate. As an example, in the state of Nevada, just in October of 2024, Republicans have registered 10,000 voters more than did Democrats. Democrats only registered 16,000 voters and Republicans approximately 26,000 voters. So this shift in the partisan composition is extremely important, and it helps explain why Donald Trump was able to win both popular vote and electoral college vote. So Donald Trump won electoral college vote with 312 electoral college votes, way more than is necessary to win, and you only need 270 to win. He won the popular vote by a much more modest margin, only approximately 2.5%, but that still represents overall a 7-point shift from the 2020 election. The results of the 2020 election showed that Biden was ahead by 4.5 percentage points at the end. So that's a significant shift. Factors that don't sway presidential elections. Celebrity endorsements is one of those factors. It mattered not at all, for example, that in 2024, Taylor Swift and Cardi B and many others have endorsed Kamala Harris, and few celebrities have endorsed Donald Trump. And even those who did, like Dr. Phil and Joe Rogan, did it very close to the end of the electoral campaign. So people usually make up their mind about the candidates on factors that are not related at all to celebrities. And they know a lot. They know too much about candidates to be swayed by whatever some celebrity says about them. Next is television shows, YouTubers, and various assorted social media chatter. This does not matter. I know that many YouTubers and other social media influencers try to think of themselves as an important counterbalance to traditional so-called legacy media, but the truth of the matter is that neither of them, neither traditional media nor YouTubers and other social media personalities, really make any significant difference. Again, it's the economy. It all goes back to that. So if you were to look at the 2024 election, it was in many respects reminiscent of the 1992 election, in that the economy wasn't terrible in either of those election years, but it had significant problems. Like in 2022, in 24 rather, the inflation rate was very high, and the government would not really admit it because it would put out numbers. Like in another lecture I told you, they said, well, in October the annual inflation rate is 2.4%. Well, who can believe that, right? When you have runaway grocery bills and you're being evicted from your apartment or house. So what we are seeing is people's perception of the economy is what really matters. Just as in 1992, the economy wasn't overall terrible, but it had a problem because it was a year of the jobless recovery. The previous recession had ended in 1991. By the end of the first quarter of 91, formally, it ended because we once again started to grow economically, but the recovery was slow and painful, and many people were unemployed. And George Herbert Walker Bush did not connect with the people, but Bill Clinton did, and he said, "I feel your pain," and he won. And his strategist, James Carville, had in his office a sign to motivate himself and his staffers that read, "It's the economy, stupid." Meaning, hit the point about the economy. I feel your pain. The economy is bad. We will come in. We'll fix it. And that basically has been Donald Trump's message, and they were not wrong to use this message. Carville and Clinton were not wrong, and Trump is not wrong. The Democratic Party of 2024 no longer seems to be the party of the working class. It's a preachy, smarty pants party of, we're going to accuse you of all sorts of things like misogyny and racism if you don't vote for us. And a lot of people have been turned off by this. And you saw that Donald Trump won 46% of the Latino vote, which no Republican candidate for president was able to do in all of modern American political history. And he actually won the majority of Latino men. He has improved his margin with women overall compared to 2020. And so now we'll see. It's going to be very difficult for him to govern. Not only will he not be a dictator, I suspect that he will find himself in opposition, not only from Democrats, but just like in his first term, from a number of Republicans. Because even though formally you won't find a lot of never-Trumpers in Congress anymore, the donors did not go away. The lobbyists, the multinational corporations that are interested in pushing forward with globalization, with economic globalization, with more outsourcing, more immigration, more cheap labor, replacement of labor with automation and with artificial intelligence. These lobbyists and these corporations, they haven't disappeared, and moreover cannot disappear. They are a permanent part of the American landscape. And unless there is some kind of drastic campaign finance reform, it's not clear how there can be any appreciable change in this respect.